Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to map out what is, seriously, one of the most critical journeys for any modern business. And that's the move to the cloud. So let's just dive right in. So, why is this so urgent? Why are we even talking about it? Well, get this. If you're thinking about this move, you're definitely not alone. A recent study found that a whopping 72% of small and medium-sized businesses are doing this exact thing right now. This isn't just some passing trend, folks. It's really the new normal for how business gets done. So, okay, the real question, it isn't if you should move. It's how. And believe me, the path you choose right here at this stage, it can make or break your future success. All right, first things first, let's break down the two main routes you can take on this journey. We're talking about full cloud versus hybrid cloud. Sometimes the best way to understand this stuff is with a simple analogy. So think of it like this. The full public cloud, that's your all-inclusive resort. Everything's taken care of for you, it's simple, it's ready to go. But the hybrid cloud, that's more like planning a custom-built trip. You get to pick and choose every little detail to make sure it's the perfect fit. So with a full cloud model, you're basically renting everything you need. Your computing power, your storage, the whole shebang from a big third-party provider like an AWS or an Azure. It's super straightforward, and it really simplifies your IT. Now, the hybrid model, this is where things get interesting. It gives you a really powerful strategic advantage. See, you can keep your most sensitive stuff, your critical data and applications, safe and sound on your own servers. But you can still tap into the massive power and scale of the public cloud for everything else. It's kind of the best of both worlds. Okay, so now that we know the two main paths, let's really weigh the options. We're going to compare them across three big-ticket items that, let's be honest, every business leader cares about: cost, security, and of course, scalability. First up, let's talk money. The budget. A full cloud approach is a pay-as-you-go model, which is awesome because it means low upfront costs for hardware. But, and this is a big but, you have to watch out because those ongoing operational costs can really start to climb if you're not managing them carefully. On the flip side, with a hybrid cloud, yeah, you're going to have a higher initial investment for your own gear, but it can often be way more cost-effective over the long haul. And hey, don't forget about the initial costs of the migration itself. Just doing the assessment and planning, and then the actual data move. Those are significant upfront expenses, no matter which path you choose. Getting this part right from the get-go is absolutely crucial if you want to avoid some really expensive headaches later. This right here, this is the classic trade-off, right? Flexibility versus scalability. Let's say you're about to have a huge sale, and you need to handle a massive sudden surge in website traffic. Well, the full cloud offers just incredible scalability. You can add more resources with just a few clicks. It's almost instant. But if what you really need is precise control over where your apps and data live, then the hybrid model, well, it just gives you way more flexibility. All right, let's talk security. This is a big one. With a full cloud setup, you're basically putting your trust in a major provider's expertise. And to be fair, their security is often world-class. But the final responsibility is still on you to configure everything correctly. Now, the hybrid model, it lets you keep direct, hands-on control over your most critical data by keeping it on your own hardware, which can really reduce your exposure. Okay, so with all those trade-offs in mind, the big question is, how do you actually make the right choice for your business? Let's walk through a pretty simple framework that should help you make that call.
The real key here is pretty simple. It's all about aligning your specific business needs with the unique strengths of each cloud model.
This little matrix here does a great job of laying out those trade-offs. Just look at the columns and ask yourself, what do we really care about the most? If getting up and running quickly with tons of scalability is your number one priority, then yeah, public cloud is a really strong contender. But if your business absolutely requires maximum flexibility and that fine-grained control over security, then the hybrid model is probably going to be the better fit for you. But it's not just about features. There's another really simple way to look at this, and that's by thinking about the size of your team and any specific compliance needs you might have. So as a general rule of thumb, smaller teams, say 1 to 10 people, are probably going to benefit most from the sheer simplicity and low overhead of the public cloud. But as your team starts to grow, and especially if you're dealing with strict compliance rules, that custom control you get with a hybrid model, well, it starts to look a whole lot more attractive. All right, so you've chosen your path. You're not done yet. There's one final, absolutely crucial part. You need a clear action plan to actually get where you're going. Your roadmap to a smooth, successful migration really just breaks down into these 4 steps. First, you've got to assess where you are right now and what your goals are. Then you develop a strategy, set some clear timelines and milestones. Next, you go out and engage the right providers and partners. And finally, and this part is so important, you have to continuously monitor and optimize your performance and costs after the move is done. Following this process is what's going to keep you on track and, just as important, on budget. You know, when it's all said and done, this is probably the most important thing to remember. The cloud isn't some magic wand. Its real benefits only get unlocked when you do careful, strategic planning. You have to think of this as a business decision first and a technical decision second. So by choosing the right path, by planning your journey carefully, you're not just moving some data from one place to another. You are actively building the future of your business. The real question is, are you ready to build it?